How in the world do you implant an ICL upside down? Well, it's actually shockingly easy to do. And in this video, I'm going to show you what to do when that happens. I'm Jack Parker. I'm one of the cornea specialists at Parker Cornea. Our practice is based on doing complicated anterior segment operations. And this video is a patient who had ICL surgery by an outside physician, a very competent, good doctor, but the lens was implanted upside down, and we are now going to show you how to deal with that. The patient is in our office-based operating environment, and I'm making a few little paracenteses here to give myself access to the anterior chamber. I prefer to use the 15-degree blade, which I can use to adjust the width of the incision more precisely than an MVR knife. And then, having made those accessory incisions, I'm trying to find the original main corneal incision. So I'll put some lidocaine in the anterior chamber and then use that same cannula to rub temporarily where the patient's old wound I suspect to be, and I find it. And they're able to access the anterior chamber. You'll notice this ICL, which is upside down, is starting already to vault up above the natural face of the crystalline lens. So I take advantage of that and put some viscoelastic underneath the ICL initially and then on top to buffer that lens against the face of the patient's crystalline lens and against the back of the cornea, such that it wouldn't rub on either of those two structures. And then, cocooning that lens in viscoelastic, I reach inside the eye with a pair of Inamura capsulorhexis forceps through the main wound, and I grasp the lens there in the center and drag it out of the eye. And this is my preferred technique for removing an ICL from the eye. Not grabbing with tying forceps, which are thicker than these very thin Inamura capsulorhexis forceps. Their thinness makes them very nimble and easy to use inside the eye. And the trick to leveraging them effectively is to approach the ICL from a perpendicular standpoint, such that the lens is like this, and you reach into the eye and grab it like that, rather than trying to grab the foot plate of the ICL. Here I'm injecting the new lens into the eye carefully under that same viscoelastic cushion, and as the lens starts to dial into the eye, I rotate the injector just slightly to make sure that the new ICL enters the eye planar. And here I'm lucky. Some of these foot plates are already tucked, so my job is easy from this standpoint. I put a bit more viscoelastic there on top of the ICL, and after confirming the foot plate position of 3 of the 4, then I'll use this olive tip manipulator through the main wound and reach directly across the face of the ICL. Some of the STAR training advises against that. They recommend using the paracenteses and not crossing the face of the ICL. I strongly disagree. It's so much easier to access the lens. You're so much more dexterous in what you're doing if you use this main wound that you have available to you. Having put the lens underneath the iris, I've rotated it such that it doesn't lie in a strictly horizontal position, as most of them do, because this patient's other eye had a bit of a high vault, so I want to rotate this lens such that it sits vertically to reduce the vault. And now what I'm doing is just aspirating the viscoelastic which sits on top of the lens. This is a cannula with BSS, and I'm just gently sucking viscoelastic from the anterior surface of the IOL. Now, this viscoelastic material, we prefer to use a cohesive substance, typically something like a Pro-Visc, rather than OcuCoat, because cohesive viscoelastic is just so much easier to remove from the eye than some vaguely dispersive thing. Now, in the past, I've made videos about hydroimplantation for an ICL, which has as a major advantage of the technique, you don't have to worry about leaving viscoelastic in the eye. And that's so nice, not have to worry about post-operative pressure spikes. But there is another good trick that was taught to me by this brilliant ophthalmologist in Crossville, Tennessee, Michael Patterson. He mentioned that what he does is typically removes as much viscoelastic as he can by simple BSS aspiration, and then gives the patient 1 tablet of oral Diamox to take that night. And since we have started trying that, we have observed that all of our patients have good pressures following the operation. None of them have these pressure spikes that we used to previously experience. So that has made a big difference for us, rather than transitioning to this bimanual irrigating, aspirating lens injection under saline. Instead, we've just started giving the patients oral Diamox, which seems to be so effective and makes the operation really quite simple. So this was a gratifying, enjoyable operation to perform. We were satisfied to see that even though the lens had been upside down in the patient's eye for 2 weeks, the pressure was fine. There was no cataract that had been rubbed into the anterior surface of the patient's crystalline lens. And the ICL was very easy to remove and replace. And I think the tips for doing it include using plenty of viscoelastic underneath and on top of the ICL. And most importantly, grabbing and extracting that ICL from a perpendicular vantage point using these thin, skinny, nimble Inamura capsulorhexis forceps. So if you find yourself in a situation needing to explant an ICL, try that and see if it doesn't work for you. Thanks so much for watching.